as the BJP's Amit Shah met with a number of top Jat leaders. In that meeting that he had with them and after, we got a number of statements from Shah and other BJP leaders where they made the comment again and again that Jayant Chaudhary was the right man on the wrong side. That statement was read into. It was considered an invite to Jayant Chaudhary to perhaps join the BJP either in a post-poll alliance or now. Now, my colleague UP Bureau Chief Pranshu Mishra is with us right now on the phone. Pranshu, thank you so much for joining us. For our audiences, we've heard a number of key statements in this very short interview that just took place with Jayant Chaudhary. For our audiences, could you highlight what we should be paying attention to?
Well, Mr. Shah's statement yesterday terming Jayant Chaudhary as a good man on the wrong side, that has sparked a lot of political speculation. One, that, we all have seen that how RLD has also been the constituent of NDA way back in the past. So is there some sort of backdoor negotiations or talks still on between RLD's top leadership and the BJP's leadership? That is one speculation that has been set ablaze. The second possibility is that, this statement could be well intended at trying and create a confusion, a difference of opinion as far as the Jat vote base and the minority vote base is concerned. We all know that RLD's, pillar of strength at the moment is the so-called Jat minority solidarity. So whether this message of Mr. Shah will send in some sort of mixed signals to the voters, whereby a section of minorities might think that, Jayant Chaudhary after elections can go with the BJP and therefore what's the necessity to vote for the RLD and the SP combined, that could be one, possibility that could arise. The third possibility which, arises out of the statement is that is BJP seeing a possibility of a scenario post-poll where it alone might not be in a capacity to form a government and therefore it might need smaller players like RLD and therefore the BJP is keeping the attack a bit soft as far as Jayant Chaudhary is concerned. But I think, even Jayant Chaudhary understands and realizes the importance and the impact which Amit Shah's statement can create. And that's the reason why he went to the Twitter immediately after Mr. Shah's statement. And now he has also clarified, saying that, this statement is a misleading one and, it doesn't actually hold weight. So I think the ST-RLD combined has suddenly been put on a defensive by the master stroke that was played out by Mr. Amit Shah. And in the days to come, as the West UP's electoral campaign intensifies and the area actually finally goes to poll, I think this statement will continue defining a lot of politics on the ground.
Pranshu, so, what we are seeing again and again is Jayant Chaudhary, I think twice in that interview, says an absolute strong no to any kind of invitation from the BJP. But what I want to understand from you is he also does touch upon, Maria did ask him a little bit about the discord when it came to All right, we're going to actually go back to my colleague Maria Shakil. She's with us live. You just saw her conducting that interview with Jayant Chaudhary. Maria, over to you.
Yes, so Jayant Chaudhary there, RLD Chief, clearly ruling out any possibility of an alliance post-poll with the BJP. He says clearly that I did ask him that question, that politics is a game of possibilities. That in the past, Chaudhary Ajit Singh, his father and former RLD chief, was in alliance with the NDA, was part of the NDA because he was part of the Vajpayee cabinet as the agriculture minister. Jayant Chaudhary clearly ruling out any question of any alliance or any equation with the BJP. He did say that this is, if anything, a ploy of Home Minister Shah to really create that confusion on ground. And he maintained that if that alliance, that is the RLD Samajwadi Party alliance, is all set to get a majority in the elections that will begin on 10th. But a lot of political statements coming in that interview that he gave to me just a few minutes ago. And one of the big takeaway was certainly that can the BJP give up its core ideas, particularly about polarization. That's what he said. And if they are not able to do that, then why should I be looking at any kind of an alliance? Not once, but I did ask him that question almost two or three times, that is there a question of any alliance or anything. He ruled it out, and I'm going to take that question to Pranshu Mishra, who joins me as well. Pranshu, since yesterday, as we have been saying, Home Minister Shah's statement has opened up possibilities in UP. This is about setting a cat among the pigeons. That is the proverbial statement here. And for Jayant Chaudhary early morning today clearly saying that yes, I've heard it, but within minutes I've put out that tweet as well that don't invite me, don't send me an invitation of a post-poll alliance, send, look at what you have done to 700 plus farmer families. So do you think this open, clear statement coming from Jayant Chaudhary is about signaling that this is a united alliance of SP RLD and there is no question of any confusion?
Interview with you, I think it clearly is as strong as the possible denial which can come in from Jayant Chaudhary. But then the counter side of it, of course, is that it has already put the SPRLD formation in a situation where they need to go out and put this argument very strongly in the people's court. See, ultimately, we were discussing that how Mr. Shah's statement in the immediate context, forget the post-poll scenario, in the immediate context, it might lead to a confusion among the support base of the SPRLD, that is the Jat Muslim. Now, it could have impacted in two ways. One, it could send out a wrong message to a section of minorities that, RLD's commitment towards the non-BJP formation is not very concrete, and therefore why not start looking towards other options like BSP in certain constituencies in Western Uttar Pradesh. I think that is one challenge which the SPRLD alliance has to meet. And the second, of course, was that, even among the Jats who are still quite a bit sympathetic towards BJP also, this statement could have sent in a wrong message that, voting for RLD and voting for BJP implies the same thing. So I think Jayant Chaudhary might be, very firm in his resolve not to have any understanding with the BJP, even in the post-poll scenario. But I think Mr. Shah's statement has at least done this much of work that it has put SPRLD on this task to go out and try and start defending themselves. So we'll have to see how strongly Jayant Chaudhary and Akhilesh can actually, counter this this suggestion or this speculative narrative that has been set forth by Mr. Amit Shah yesterday.
Yes, so that is certainly, Pranshu, talking about that question that I had asked, that before every election there is almost a narrative that gets built that Jats who are in Western UP, largely 18% in all in Uttar Pradesh, are angry with the BJP. But election after election, we have seen this constituency stand firmly behind Prime Minister Modi, be it in 2014, again in 2019, and also in 2017 assembly elections. His response was that I reject these statistics, that there cannot be a statistics of this nature. But again, he clearly and categorically stating that there is no question. But would you say that yes, this is also an attempt, as you put out rightly, about speculation? And if that speculation sets in, that there could be a post-poll alliance or there could be a possibility of some kind of an arrangement post-poll, then in that case, Jayant Chaudhary, whose father has had any kind of equation, in fact, he was the agriculture minister in Vajpayee's cabinet, could have alliance. But, Pranshu, again, that I'd asked that when that specific question I'd asked, his point was that look at my politics. You're referring to what my father did, but just look at my politics. As far as my political graph is concerned, I have been consistent. I have been taking on the BJP. And in Western UP, the farmers are, this community is largely have an occupational identity of being farmers, and the farmers have been unhappy or upset with the BJP. Has the repeal of the farm laws really, blunted that anger? That was a question again that one asked. But do you think that ticket factor that we often keep talking about, that the tickets have not openly endorsed an alliance and they have not openly now come out in opposition to the BJP after that meeting with Sanjeev Balyan, that again has opened up that space of which way the farmers could go?
Maria, you are right in this analysis that Jayant Chaudhary is trying to carve out a different sort of politics. He's not, indulging in that sort of politics of sheer opportunism as was practiced his late father, Mr. Ajit Singh. But having said that, the history of RLD has been, quite controversial, shifting alliances. So in that context, Mr. Shah's statement could be, aimed at trying to create confusion. The second aspect is that, over the past few months, the fact of Rakesh Tikait and the fact that a strong section of the community has been seen as anti-BJP pro-farmers protest, and Rakesh Tiket, even in his, no open endorsement for SPRLD, the situation on the ground is very clear. Many people see him as being firmly as anti-BJP, despite saying that, I am neutral, I am not taking any positions, and I am neutral as far as the political campaign is concerned. So I think there is clearly a pressure on Jayant Chaudhary coming in from the community itself that, you need to carve out an independent political trajectory, not to be seen along with the Bharatiya Janata Party.